Hi, my name is Hannah Rush, and my presentation is over Bauhaus. The word Bauhaus literally translates to School of Building. It was established in 1919 and is one of the biggest design influences to the 20th century, to the Western world. The school emerged from Henry van de Velde's Weimar School of Applied and Fine Art. He was Belgian, and he was asked to step down because it was a school in Germany, and it's Nazi Germany at this time. He recommended Walter Gropius, and Bauhaus emerged. He founded this school in Weimar, Germany, and he is considered one of the pioneers of modern architecture. He started the school, but he could not actually draw himself at all, and through his own education, he actually hired people to do his work for him. Walter Gropius really wanted to incorporate all different kinds of art, so he got fine artists, theatrical performers, architects, and other craft artisans like weavers, and he combined, through all of that, they created a form of streamlined discipline of design. Bauhaus schools stress functionality in everyday life, and the main focus was to solve visual problems that were created by industrialization. The school and staff attracted so many people in the 1920s. In 1933, Hitler actually shut the school down because he thought the ideas and art that was coming out of the school were degenerate, but we all really know it's because he was rejected from art school himself and he didn't like any kind of art. Laszlo Moholy-Nagy moved to the United States after the school was closed in 1933, and he started the Design Institute of Chicago, and he just really tried to bring all of the ideas that Bauhaus had taught him. Kandinsky was one of the many famous artists that taught at the Bauhaus School in the 1920s, and he really focused on line, form, shape, and overall composition, and his ideas are instilled in the foundation of Bauhaus. Paul Klee is another famous artist who taught at the Bauhaus School, and his whole career was focused on color and the theory of color and how color makes you feel, and those principles of color were really instilled in the foundation of Bauhaus. I think this is one of the most, the best example of a Bauhaus piece that really shows their functionality through form and art, combining both of the two, because they fit within each other, they're proportionate, the color scheme, and everything. This is an example of how Bauhaus design has influenced all different types of art in our daily life. This is the White Stripes album, and they have geometric shape, line, color, and I just think it's a good example of one of the many ways that they've influenced. Apple and iPhone, I think, is probably the perfect example of how Bauhaus design has influenced our everyday design, and just pretty much anything modern that you consider modern was kind of started from Bauhaus. Art institutes and design institutes all over the United States are still teaching the principles of Bauhaus, especially in areas of industrial design, graphic design, typography, architecture, printmaking, painting, etc. And I mean, I think that I can see where they show us that in art design. Bauhaus is also a social movement as well as a design movement, and it's the belief that humans must take control of machines and control and creating of machines and use them for creative processing. And Bauhaus' mission is really to bring humanistic and artistic sensitivity to industrial world. By improving design, they would improve society.
I really liked how when you were talking about the instructors at the Bauhaus, you just showed a piece of their artwork instead of showing their face or having words on it. I thought that was a really cool way that we could like listen to what you were saying, but also like look at the detail within the art.
I like how you related their ideas with like everyday things that we recognize and like we're familiar with to kind of like tie in the idea to make it understandable to us. Thank you.
I really like your photos. They're just like really clear and easy to see. Like the iPhone is just like really clear and just looking.
Thanks.
Sorry, another one. The way you speak when you present is really good because it's not just monotone, it's very up and down and very like makes you want to listen. And I feel like if you practice even more and you didn't have the note cards, it could just be like 10 times better than it already was just because of the way you present and speak.
Yeah, I think I'll follow up at that point. I'm listening to you and thinking, oh, come on, Hannah, you just didn't practice it quite enough. Because you really do have that ability to control the inflection in your voice, you have sufficient volume, you've got a pleasant voice to listen to begin with. And you didn't quite know it quite well enough, and you could kind of see or feel pauses where you're trying to recall something to say, and it wasn't quite, a few of the slides didn't have quite enough information to go with them. So it needed more practice, another iteration in terms of looking at what you actually wanted to say. For example, when you have a picture of the design college here up, you need to talk about how the freshman program is set up exactly in the same principle, that everyone's going to have the same core, etc. But there was this kind of a stretch there where it was like you didn't have anything to say on that slide. And there was really information that was probably information you knew. So it was, I think, a factor of just needing to work on a little bit more there. A reminder too, on those image slides, do not allow that underlining to show. Those of you in the future, I'm going to count off for that. Because nobody's going to go up there and click on your slide, right? The point is to be able to get a general idea when they look at it, what places on the web that things came from.
Along with like the slide information wise, I really wish you would have like touched more with like what you said with the College of Design and also like the Apple, because we live like with Apple in our life, and so it's kind of like it really made an impact with me when you showed that, because I was able to like relate more to it. But then I wish you kind of touched on like the principles and how it related to the Apple.
Yeah,
and that really would have made more of an impact.
That was another slide where I felt like you really would know the information you needed to present it. Because actually there, what you had up was a picture of an iPhone, and a lot of the iPhones are designed to look almost exactly the same. You can hardly tell the difference between an Apple and a few of the others. But if you took the Apple product line in a broader sense, I think you could make the argument better. But you would need to point to some specific features about them. The one issue with Apple, as an example there, is of course the issue with Apple, which is they will sacrifice function for pretty. And that isn't very Bauhausy in that sense. But you had space to talk about that, you didn't quite fill in information about that. Anyone else?